Purnam Rishachiputram Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasakacha Muripurim Maturim Pushtuatim Radha Kundamagirivaram Ahoradikaumarvasam Prapto yasya pratita kripaya Sri Guru Tam Manatosmi Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hemabhadivyachavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhaktya Vihinam Aparada Lakshe Chilkastu Kamari Saram Kamade Kripa Mahitam Sharanam Prapanam Vrinde Numase Sharanarabindam Vrinde Numase Sharanarabindam Govinda Damo Sharanarabindi Govinda Damo Sharanarabindi Govinda Damo Sharanarabindi Govinda Damo Sharanarabindi. Everyone. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Saketi, Govinda Damo Sharanarabindi. Sham Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smarahas Murali Manoida Radhikar Sakam Mama Kripanidhe Supriya Charana King Kurim Kuru Tavaivasmi Najivami Tayavana Jivikyayo Devi Tam Namam Charanantikam. First of all, I offer my sustained Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadhiya Paramaradatam Guru Pada Padima, Nityalila Pravisht Om Vishnu Part Ashtota Rasata Sri Rupanuga Acharya Varya, Srila Bhakti Vedant Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the Samud Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakalpaturvas, Kripa Sindhuvevata, Pudinam Pavani Vaishnavi Vyo Namo Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he has sung Vedi Gai Jahara Charito. O Gurudev, Prema Bhakti Ja Hoite, that person from whom pure love for Sri Krishna is emanating. If you study any pastimes of Sri Krishna from Shastra, from a book. You can read the words, but the feelings which are being expressed there, it will come in the association of Sri Guru. Just like if you are cold and you read about a warm fire, you will still be cold. We have to sit next to the fire. This is why the Vedas are called Shruti, that which you hear, and Upanishad. Upanishad. Upa means nearby, Nishad means sit down. Sit down nearby the spiritual master and listen. So just as a person sits next to a blazing fire can feel the heat, so in the same way, a person who sits down next to Sri Guru and listens with an open heart and a mood of complete surrender without any swartha, niskapat, without selfishness, without duplicity, and without swatantrata, mood of independence, then they can feel the heat of separation. The pure devotee feels separation from Radha and Krishna. And the Shishya, Sat-Shishya, bona fide disciple, he can experience that heat of separation and become privy to a level of realization which is beyond his own current limitations. And which, it may take thousands of lives of sadhana to achieve. A person can achieve in a few minutes even by sadhu sangha. So sadhu sangha, sarva shasti koi, lava matra, sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. So prema bhakti ja hoite, avidya vinashayate. When this pure bhakti enters into the heart, it destroys avidya. Avidya is not a positive thing. Avidya is above, it's an absence. Just like Krishna Surya Samamaya Hai Andaka, Yahan Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Adika. Krishna is like the sun and Maya is like darkness. When the sun is present, there cannot be darkness. So darkness is the absence of light. So avidya is the absence of Krishna consciousness. It is an above. It's an emptiness. So in our conditioned state, we are afflicted by avidya. When we look inside, what is there? Emptiness. An above, like a void. And this is why people naturally gravitate towards philosophies which are voidist and impersonal, nirvishesha and shunyavad. Because when they meditate, they find inside, when they give up the attachment to the external stimulation, they find inside nothing and think, now I'm enlightened. And so then that's confirmed when they meet some impersonalist path. So this darkness can only be dispelled. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado, yasya prasada nadati kutopi. By the mercy of Guru, one gets the mercy of Krishna. Tesham evanu kampatam aham agyana jamtama nashayamyatma bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. In the last verse of the Chatusloki Gita, 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna said, to show special mercy to my devotees, I, residing in the core of their heart, dispel the darkness of avidya by the light of the spiritual knowledge. That means bhakti, samvit and ladini, the knowledge potency and the joy potency. So prema bhakti jahoiti avidya vinashayate. Vedi gai jahara charito. And all the Vedas, they sing the glories of Sri Guru. So this is an indication, it's very important to know what has been described about the Guru Tattva in the Vedas, in the original Shruti, in the Upanishads. So for the 150th anniversary of Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, we have published the Gaudiya Darshan, very important lecture of Srila Prabhupada, but just now, actually, to offer to him on his direct birthday in Mayapur, this is a collection of the Katha, 34 Upakyans, the stories from the Vedas, Puranas and other Shastras, especially from Katha Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, as explained by Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So, from these upakhans, from these histories, one can, if one hears them from a realized soul, the samskar will come. What it means to be Satshishya, a bona fide disciple, and Sadguru, bona fide guru. So in the Katha Upanishad, there's described there was a king, and his name was Audalaki. Audalaki was performing a huge yajna called Vishvajit Yajna, and it was his ambition that by performing this sacrifice, then he could go to the heaven and enjoy in heaven. So part of the sacrifice is you have to give away everything. All your valuable possessions, everything you have to give away. And this king, Audalaki, had a son. His son's name was Nachiketa. Nachiketa. He was young, he was intelligent, and especially, he was honest. Simplicity. This is the main qualification of a Vaishnava. Sarlata. Simplicity. So he was watching his father. His father was doing sankalpa 3 times and giving charity to different brahmanas who were coming there. So at one point, a brahmana came and he made his sankalpa and he gave away a group of cows to that brahman. But Nachiketa knew that this group of cows, they were barren. These cows, they could give no milk and they could have no calves also. So according to Shastra, this is not a dakshina. This is not a compensation for the performance of sacrifice. This is just this is an expense. Let me just palm it off onto someone. So it's not good. So Nachiketa saw that his father was giving as a dakshina. The barren cows. And he thought, oh, my father, by this he will not go to Swarga. He'll go to a planet of suffering, which is called Ananda. Not Ananda. Ananda, the place where there's no joy. So then he was thinking about this. And he went to his father. He said, oh, my dear father, to whom will you give me in dakshina? You're giving away everything. He was thinking even useless things that you should not give away. So he came to his father and said, my dear father, to whom will you give me as a dakshin? His father was busy and he just ignored him. So the boy insisted, oh Papa, Pita Sri, my respected father, to whom will you give me? Again his father ignored him. Then the 3rd time, he asked. Then his father said, I'll give you to Yamaraj. Because his father exploded in anger. This is the nature. If you have material desires, then you must have anger. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajagun samudbhava, mahashano mahapapa, vidyanam mahavarinam. If you have kam, if you have material attachments, then actually kam is like a fire that can never be extinguished. Abritam jnanametena jnanino nityavarina kamarupena konteya dushparena analena cha. Just like by putting ghee in the fire doesn't go out, but rather it increases. So in the same way, the more we try to fulfill our material desires, the more we have the sanskars of sense gratification that return again, and we have more and more material desires. It's only the desires are inflamed. And so calm, material desires, they can never be fulfilled. And because they're not fulfilled, then they curdle. Just like if you have milk and you just leave it sitting, what happens? It goes bad. So this calm, it will curdle and become krodh, anger. It will become anger. And then we'll start to become cranky and criticize people and rebuke people unnecessarily. And actually, these people, we tend to think, if we're not honest, if there's no sarlata, simplicity, think this person made me angry. Go away, you're making me angry. But anger is already there, and we just use that person as a justification to vent it. This is the honest truth. There's no excuse to be angry. My Gurudev, when he used to give initiation, he used to tell everyone this at the time of initiation. Anger is the root of all evil. Never become angry. And he would give some advice. If you're angry, sit down, drink a glass of water. Calm down. Chant Hare Krishna. Don't do anything, don't say anything until you become out from that grip of madness. So, the anger is there because this king Udalaki, he wanted to go to heaven. He had so many unfulfilled desires and he became angry with his own dear son and told him, oh, you should go to Yam. Yamlok, that means the god of death. Yamaraj is the god of death. So then, the little boy, he was very simple. He thought, I wonder what objective of Yamaraj my father wants to accomplish by sending me there. He thought, I can go to Yamaraj, to the Yampuri, the abode of death. It's not a problem because all living beings, all human beings and all living beings are just like crops. The crops grow up in the field and then they wither away and they disappear. As much as we may want to think that we are important, but we are just like crops and we just grow up and then we become wrinkly and then we die. So he said, so what is the problem? If my father wants this and Yamaraj has some purpose for me, then I am not concerned. Let me go there. And so then Nachiketa, he went to the abode of Yamaraj, to Yampuri. So when he arrived there, actually Yamaraj, he was out. He was not in at that time. So he was just waiting outside. He waited for 1 day. He waited for 2 days. He waited for 3 days. Finally, after 3 days, Yamaraj, the god of death, and Mrs. Yamaraj, the goddess of death, they came back and they saw this young boy outside their house and they felt very bad. You know, we tend to think, oh, death is really scary, the Grim Reaper. But actually Yamaraj, he's really nice. Because he's one of the 12 Mahajans. Yeah, he's one of the 12 great Vaishnavas in the universe. So Yamaraj and his wife, they were feeling quite embarrassed. And they said to that Nachiketa, oh, we have an uninvited guest has come to our home and we did not feed him. He was fasting for 3 nights even. This is our offense. Because in Vedic culture, if you have an uninvited guest, that's called Atiti Narayan. He's to be served like the Supreme Lord. So Yamaraj and his wife, they sat the little boy down on an asan and they did puja to him because he's Atiti Narayan. And then Yamaraj said, I regret that I could not offer you hospitality for 3 nights. So because of this, I want to make amends by offering you 3 benedictions, 3 boons. You can ask from me whatever you like. So then, Nachiketa, he said, first of all, I asked for this boon. My father is really upset with me. So just give me the boon that when I eventually go back and see him, that he'll recognize me, that he'll become pleased with me, and he'll shower me with his affection. Yamaraj said, Tatastu. So be it. Let it be. Now ask for your second boon. The boy said, the people who live in Swarg, in heaven, they're not afraid of you at all. They have joy there. They have no death. They have no old age. They are simply in bliss. So please, tell me, what is the sacrifice that one can perform to attain that plane? Yamaraj said, actually, the residents of Swarga, they are afraid of death. The situation that you are describing is actually the situation of Vishnu Lok, Vaikunta. And the Jagya by which a person can go to Vaikunta. Because you have asked this question, I'm going to name this Yagya after you. It will be called the Nachiketa Yagya from now on. And so the sacrifice which is performed to go to Vaikuntha, until today, it's still named after Nachiketa. So then Yamaraj said, again, ask for a boon. So then Nachiketa said, some people say that there's such a thing as Atma. And some people have a doubt. And other people say there's no such thing as Atma. What is this Atma Tattva? Can you tell me the Atma Tattva? The principle of Atma, soul. What does it mean? Yamaraj said, you know that even the demigods, they are confused about this Tattva. It's very rare, it's very difficult to understand. Look, my boy, I can give you kingdoms. I can give you vast wealth and riches. And he was embracing him and pointing in the sky and showing him a vision, and the boy was looking. He said, look, I can give you a lifespan of thousands and thousands of years. I can give you palace. And he was looking, he was seeing palaces. He was seeing horses and elephants and chariots. I can give you hundreds of beautiful wives from the heavenly planets, beautiful dancing maidens, decorated with beautiful ornaments, and expert in singing and dancing and playing musical instruments and having all fine female qualities. I can give you the such unlimited pleasures that are very, very rare. Very rare for any human being to even know about, or to speak of experience in this world. You just choose from me whatever you want. Nachiketa said, I don't want any of these things. What is the use of a life of hundreds of thousands of years when in the space of eternity, what is it? It's the blink of an eye. Even if you live for thousands of years, still, in the space of eternity, everything is just less than the blink of an eye. I don't want, you can keep the chariots, you can keep the horses, you can keep the elephants. Wealth never made anyone become satisfied. Because all of these are neshvara. They are all perishable things. We are related to them for a moment, and then like a dream, they all vanish. I don't want any beautiful dancing maidens. I don't want any of these things. Please tell me that knowledge by which I can find the true satisfaction of the soul that lasts forever. Then Yamaraj, he smiled. He said, hey Nachiketa, you have rejected Shreya, you have rejected Prayer, and you have accepted Shreya. There are two things. Prayer means that which gives us happiness now. That is called prayer. The mode of activity, the direction, the trajectory of our life, which is in pursuit of things that can give us happiness just now or tomorrow, the next day, but temporary. This is called prayer. And Shreya means what is my ultimate auspiciousness, by which I can attain eternal joy which can never be lost. Yamaraj said, those who follow the path of prayer, they are mudha, they are murka, they are foolish, they are quite dull. And they are incapable of understanding Atma Tattva. Even if they try, they cannot understand Atma Tattva. It's not possible, because their mind is fixed in the trajectory of the prayer, temporary benefits. Only those whose heart is fixed on Shreya, what is my ultimate benefit? And they're ready to sacrifice everything to attain that. That means to sacrifice every worldly thing which is actually worthless and temporary. To get an eternal benefit. So they're intelligent. If you swap something that's worthless for something that is priceless, it's a good business. But the common person is swapping what is priceless for something which is worthless. So Yamaraj said that I am very pleased with you. You know that Shravanaya pi bahubhi yona labhya shinvanto bi bhavadi yamna vidhu astarya vakta kushalasya labdha astaryo vakyata kushalana shishtaha. This verse of Katha Upanishad. Yamaraj said, there are millions of people who never have the chance to hear Atma Tattva. What is Atma? The soul. And of those persons who have the opportunity to hear about the soul, out of many of them, mainly, they don't understand it even when they hear it. And why is that? Ashtaryo Vakta Kusalasya Labdha. Because a Vakta, a speaker of Atma Tattva, is extremely rare. A speaker of Atma Tattva is extremely rare. Why? Because a speaker of Atma Tattva, his Vakshakti, the power of his words, only works if he has realization himself. Understand? A person, Stavara Jangama Dekina Dekitaramurti, Sarvatra Hoinij Ishtadeva Sporti, who is seeing his Ishtadev, Shama Sundar, everywhere, always. Who is not living in the fog of the material existence. When that person speaks, their words are powerful and they can create the spurti, the realization in the hearer. So, Astaryo Vakta, because the qualified speaker is very rare, then even if a person hears, because the speaker is not qualified, then they'll not get realization. They'll get the same realization as the speaker. Speaker is in Maya and he will put the other person also. The blind lead the blind. One blind man was sitting there and he heard someone, oh, who's coming, who's coming? And it was another blind man. Who's there, who's there? Then he heard a voice, oh, it's me, Padmalochan, lotus eyes. Padmalochan, oh, Padmalochan, yeah, come with me. Okay. What's your name? Oh, my name is Divya Chakshu. Celestial eyes. So then Padmalochan was being followed by Divya Chakshu. Then, who's there? Who's there? Another blind man. Who are you? Like this. So then the blind leads the blind, but what happens? They don't go to their destination. They're in darkness. They cannot find the way to the supreme goal of life. So it is very rare for a person to understand the subject, because the speaker, to find a qualified speaker is very rare. And Astaryo Gyata Kushalana Shishtaha. If by great fortune there is a qualified speaker of Atma Tattva, then among those who are hearing, one who understands is also very rare. Because though the Sadguru, the bona fide Guru, is very rare, the Satshishta is even more rare.
Wow.
Consider these things carefully. Why? Because the Satshishta has to be completely dedicated to the path of Sreya and not dedicated to the path of Praya. So Yamaraj, he said, Naishamatir Apaneya. O Nachiketa, you have developed the Sudradamati, very fixed intelligence to attain your goal of life. And you want to know Atma, that means Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. Don't destroy your mati, your Sudradamati, by trying to understand by logic. Naisha Tarkena Matir Apaneya. By logic. Why? Because logic That is the conceptuality of the material intelligence. The material intelligence has limitation. It cannot take in the whole reality at once. It can only take parts. But the truth has no parts. It is Advaya Gyan Tattva. Advaya Gyan Tattva. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yad gyanam advayam. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. So the intelligence, which is always acting and abstracting things, vikalpa, from the environment to understand them, can never know the truth. Because the truth is advaya. It is akhanda, indivisible reality. And this is why the ordinary process of education fails. You cannot study the Param Tattva Sri Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, by going to college and learning about it in parts. You know, modern education is called, in Sanskrit, is called Kram Vikasita Gyan. Kram Purvak Vikasita Gyan. It means the knowledge where you collect data, information in pieces. And you add another piece of information to that, and another piece of information, and you keep doing that until you get to the end of your course. And then they make an exam to see if you collected all the bits of information. So that's called Kram Purvak Vikas Gyan, the knowledge which gradually increases in a sequence of units. So because the absolute truth is Advaya Gyan, an indivisible, akhanda, Yahi Anadi Ananta Akhanda Acheda Abheda Subheda Patawe. It's not divisible. It is without beginning and without end. So it can never be known by the mundane process of collecting knowledge. It can be imparted only through the Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound, from the heart of Guru to the heart of the disciple. So Yamaraj said, by trance you can understand these things. You can realize the truth. By trance, not by logic. So don't destroy your Sudradamati, your determination to know God, by mixing it with logical, material, mundane intelligence. The material intelligence is an element of Maya. Maya is not going to help you get out of Maya. What are we thinking? Not going to happen, is it? So Yamaraj said, you have developed a firm determination. So it seems to me, O Nachiketa, that the door to the spiritual world will be open for you. Nachiketa said, Oh Gurudev, please don't praise me. Because Yamaraj had been testing him. Nachiketa, I tested you. I showed you all the temptations and all the allurements. But you remained firm. You're not attracted to those worldly things, worldly happiness. You have Sudridamati, fixed intelligence. So you are qualified to know these things. Nachiketa said, Oh Gurudev, please don't praise me. Just tell me, I want to know about that reality which is beyond dharma and adharma, beyond irreligion and beyond religion, which is beyond the duality of time, beyond the past, present and future. Tell me about that vastava vastu, that factual substance of reality. So then Yamaraj said to him, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Na Medya Na Bahuna Slutina Yamevesi Vrinutu Tena Labhyas Tasyaisatma Vivrinute Tanum Swam. The Atma, here Atma means the Supreme Atma, the soul of all existence. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nayam Atma, this Atma, this Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pravachanena Labhya, cannot be attained. Here, be attained means that you become face to face. Your spiritual face and his spiritual face, face to face. This is the meaning of attaining Atma here. To be face to face with Brajendra Nandan, Shama Sundar, Nandanandan, see Krishna, Gopikanta, Radharaman, Vrindavan, Bihari Lal, to be face to face with him. This is the Atma Labh, attaining Atma. But Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo. A person cannot attain that direct sakshatkar, direct experience of Sri Krishna by giving a learned speech. Na me daya. It cannot be attained by very fine intellect, by any academic research. Bahuna srutena. It cannot be attained even by so much study of the Vedas, or even hearing the Vedas. Then to whom is this Atma available? Yameve se vrinute tena labhyas tasyais atma vivrinute tanamaswam. He is attained by that person whom he himself chooses. Only. Aparam Pujapad Srila Bhakti Rakshashidam Raj used to say, see, Krishna is all rights reserved. Huh? He has all rights on everything. That means no one can know him unless he reveals himself to that person. Only when Krishna decides to reveal himself to someone, then he can be known. Otherwise, he's completely beyond all the methods of investigation that are possible. There's a saying in Hindi, that you become an ordinary woman, an ordinary simple woman from a village becomes a queen. How? Just by the glance of the king. Raja Chatai, Rani Bai. Raja Chatai, Rani Bai means any ordinary lady in a village anywhere, she cannot become a queen. But how can she become a queen? Only one day the king is passing in his chariot and he sees a crowd of people, and then one lady, she's very sweet and attractive, and he's attracted, and just by his glance, and then he goes, oh, you come here. Raja Chatai, Rani Bhai. Only by the glance of the king, then you become a queen. So in the same way, though we may be completely insignificant and unqualified, worthless beings in this world, if we serve Sri Guru, and Sri Guru prays on our behalf, then Krishna will give his merciful glance, and a soul from this world becomes an associate of Krishna in the glorious, transcendental, eternal, loving pastimes. This is Guru Tattva. Understand? So, Sri Guru, he accomplishes this by giving the disciple mantra. You know, the theme of our visit to Austin. Someone told me this is called Austinapur. So, the theme of our visit to Austin this year is the glories of the holy name. So here in this Katha Upanishad, the glories of the holy name come. Sri Guru gives Krishna to the disciple in the form of the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Jamaraj, he said to Nachiketa, listen carefully. That supreme absolute truth appears in the form of a param akshar, divine syllables. Om. This divine syllable, the three letters making this divine symbol. This is actually Parabrahma himself. Jaya Nama Deya Muni Brinda Geya Janaranjanaya Paramakshara Krite. Oh Harinam Prabhu, you who give happiness to all of the great liberated sages, to give joy to all of your devotees, you have appeared as the Parama Akshara, transcendental syllables. And a person who will take shelter completely of the mantra, which is non-different from Sri Krishna himself, then they can realize Sri Krishna. Naam will glance and Raja Chitai Rani Bai. Then you don't want to become a queen of Krishna in Dwarka, but become the Dasi of the queen of Vrindavan, Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani.
Yeah.
So, we say the name of Krishna, but this is like a conventional way of speaking. Just like a person may say, the body of a Brahmin. Have you ever seen the body of a Brahmin? No? Have you ever seen the body of a Brahmin? No, you haven't. Because it makes no sense. If there is a Brahmin, then there is a body and there is a soul inside. Right? So is the soul a Brahmin?
No.
No. So this is the body of that soul. The Brahmin is the body itself. So to say the body of a Brahmin, your intellect has made a vikalpa, made categories that don't exist. There's this thing called the body and this other thing called the Brahmin. But the Brahmin is the body. The soul is something else. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So that's called vikalpa. So in the same way we say the name of Krishna. We're making a vikalpa. No, the name is Krishna. There's absolutely no difference at all. Nama chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya rasa vigraha puna shuddho nityamukto binatvam nama namino. So there's nothing to add to this name. We don't have to add our speculation to the name to make it more flavorful. Because the name is rasa vigraha. The name is full of rasa. We don't have to add our speculation to make, oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This name is not very flavorful. Let me add some speculation. Some spice. No, the name is Rasa Vigraha. It's full of mellows. Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Binatvam Naman. The name is Purna. So a person who has not realized the Swarup of the name, he has the defect of Apurnata Dosh. He is incomplete because he has not realized the Purna, the complete truth. Purna Shuddho. The person who has not realized the Swarup of the name has the Ashuddhata Dosh. He is impure because he has not realized what is pure. Puna Shuddho Nitya. The holy name is eternal. The person who does not realize the Swarup of the name, he has the Anityata Dosh, the fault of being involved in temporary things, because the eternal reality is not within his experience. Puna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. The holy name is Mukta. It is always transcendental, it is always beyond this world, it is never touched by Maya at all. So a person who does not realize the Swarup of the name, he has the Srinkal Badata Dosh, the defect of being bound in the shackles of Maya. So Abhinatvam Nama Namino means that the name is non-different from Sri Krishna himself. That means there is Abhina Namatva, Krishna is non-different from his name. Abhina Rupatva, the name is non-different from his form. Abhina Gunatva, the name is non-different from his beautiful qualities. Abhina Parikaratva, the name is non-different from his associates, Nanda and Yashoda. Subal, Sridham, Arjun, Labanga, Stoka, Krishna, Madhumanga, and all the cowherd boys, Lalita, Vishaka, Chitta, Tampakalata, and all the gopis. So Abhina Parikaratva, Abhina Sevatva, our service is in the name. Abhina Lilatva, all Lila is in the name. Sankirtana hoiti papa sangsara mochan. Chitta Shuddhi Sarva Bhakti Sadhana Udgam. Mahaprabhu said that when one takes shelter of Harinam Sankirtan, then pap, his sins are destroyed. Sangsara mochan, he becomes liberated from the Dehatma Buddhi, identification with the body and mind. And Chitta Suddhi, in his pure Chitta, then Sarva Bhakti Sadhana Udgam. All types of bhakti sadhana awaken there. The sadhana that is done with Kartritra Abhinam, I am the doer, I am the doer. This is not sadhana. This is still in the prakrit stage. Sa bhakta prakrita smritaha. That is prakrita, but he is still on the prakrit level. He has not entered into actual sadhana yet. Because sadhana is part of Uttam Bhakti. Anya-abhilashta shunyam jnana kama dinavata. It has three parts: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. So sadhana is not what you do to get Uttam Bhakti. Sadhana is already a part of Uttam Bhakti. So Uttam Bhakti hasn't started. Sadhana has not started until Anya-abhilashta shunyam. What is happening before that is only the development of faith. From adosraddha to nishta is soft faith becoming firm faith. And then, in the pure heart, the real sadhana awakens. In that pure sadhana, there's no kartrita abhiman. I am the doer. Dampati sampati sanchihiyai sukasavo pavapasari. There's one Braj poem. It says, when the treasure of the divine couple, Radha Krishna, appears in my heart, at that time, I will very happily sleep and stretch out my legs and relax. But we see that the pure Vaishnavas who are doing bhajan, they never relax. They're always chanting all the time, serving all the time, preaching all the time. So what does it mean? Ashoka abhaya omrita adara tomara chana dvaya tahate ekon vishrama labhya chadiyanu babera boy. Oh Krishna, your lotus feet, they are the repository of Ashok. No lamentation is there. Ashok abhay, there's no fear there. Amrita, there's only immortal nectar there. And since I surrendered to your lotus feet, vishrama labhya, I attained rest. I am happily sleeping with my legs stretched out. It means that even though we see that the devotee is doing seva all the time, chanting all the time, very engaged in his intense practices, but he has no kartrita abhiman, no ego, because the sadhana is awakening in his heart. It is awakening naturally and spontaneously in the heart, just pure nectar. Like Mahaprabhu. It is said about Mahaprabhu, snana darshana bhojan deya swabhavoy. Kumer Chakadyena Satatapirai. Mahaprabhu's life was going on. He would wake up, take bath in the ocean, go for darshan, honor Mahaprasadam. Just like a potter. The potter takes his stone wheel and goes and he gets it spinning. Then once it's spinning, his two hands are free and he can make his artistic creation on the potter's wheel. So it's said that Mahaprabhu's life in Puri was going on like a potter's wheel. And internally he was just absorbed in Krishna's pastimes. So that is the state of rest. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking. I've attained Vishwa, I've attained rest. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur would sleep for about 2 hours. He'd wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, chant 64 rounds. Then he wrote over 100 books. Then he would take a few chapatis and go to work. He usually had 2 jobs. One as a magistrate in the British government, in the court, and also as a manager of the Jagannath temple. Other responsibilities. And then in the evening he would come back and then with his son Bimal Prasad, our Prabhupada Bhakti Sansu Thakur, carrying Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhakti Rasamrita under his arm, he would follow his father and go out preaching every night to make the Namahata programs. So why is Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying Vishrama Labhya? Because he's ahankar rahit, free from ahankar. I am not the doer. And experiencing the nectar of the holy name. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has written a song. Namasudharasa gayo Krishna yasha rako bachana manamora. I'm happy that everyone knows it. Good. So we sing this song every morning. So I think today, to complete our visit to Austin, I just want to speak about this beautiful song of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's valuable for all of us because we sing this every morning in Mangalartik to the deities. And whenever we engage in sadhana, it should never be in a mechanical way. It should always be with the intention that we come and we sing. We sing the names of Sri Krishna to please Srimati Radharani. Krishna will automatically be pleased if Radhika is pleased. If a person is only singing some names, but they have no sense of sambandha gyan, what is my relationship with Krishna? Then they may chant Nam Abhas. This may destroy their sins. But it will not be Shuddha Nam, the pure name which gives Prem. This is why Sri Guru is necessary. Sri Guru, through the medium of Diksha and the process, nourishing the process of Diksha through speaking Harikatha, nourishes us again and again, that our Sambandha Gyan, our feeling, divine sentiment of a particular Sambandha, relationship with Sri Krishna will awaken in the heart. So especially in our Rupanuga tradition, the main relationship is not directly to Krishna, it's to Radhika. So my Gurudev used to say, when you put on your tilak every morning, you have to say the mantras, Om Keshavaya Nama, Om Narayana Nama, Om Madhavaya Nama, Om Govindaya Nama. But Gurudev said, those who are in Raganuga Bhakti, they say the name of Krishna, but we remember Srimati Radhika. Right? What is because all the names of Krishna are connected to his pastimes. Or rather, because they're not different from his pastimes. If someone experiences the name, then they'll see, that this name, it shows a beautiful pastime and the relationship with Srimati Radhika. So, Om Keshavaya Nama, Keshan Vayate iti Keshava. Who is Keshava? That person who decorates the hair of Srimati Radhika. Kesh means hair. So, Gurudev said, if you remember Keshava, then you remember how Krishna is very humbly, in a very humble mood, thinking that I'm so fortunate to be able to decorate the hair of Radhika with flowers. This is the chanting Nam, but with Sambandha Gyan. So in the song of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when we sing, we should have a purpose to become fulfilled in our relationship with Radha and Krishna. So though this song is all filled with the names of Sri Krishna, but we should think how this Krishna is related to our Ishtadevi. Madishana tatve Braj vipina chandram bhajaname Surimtam natatve tadatka sakitve tulalitam Vishakan shikshali vitarana gurtve priyasaro Grindav tatpakshala litara tidatve smarmana. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he said, Madisha, my Isha, my Swamini, my life and soul is Radhika. And who is Krishna? Krishna is her beloved. Pyari ki pyari vastu dugani pyari. In Braj Bhasha, pyari ki pyari vastu dugani pyari means that thing which is very much loved by the person you love twice as much. It's a kind of mathematics of love. That if you love someone, but that person loves something else, then you love that thing double. Because it's dear and gives happiness to that person. Like Mother Yashoda, she's feeding Krishna her breast milk, but when she sees the milk on the fire is boiling, she can put down Krishna to go to serve the milk. Why? Because from the milk, she'll make the paneer and rabri and very yogurt and delicious things which are dear to Krishna. So if you try to love Krishna directly, then it will not be so successful. So if one will love Radhika, then Krishna will become double beloved. And Madishana tatve brajapipina chandram bhajamane swarimtam na tatve tatal sakitve tulalitam. And who is dear to Krishna? Srimati Radhika. Now Radhika becomes 4 times beloved. Vishakan shikshali vitarna. And who is the very close friend of the Radhika? Lalita Sakhi, Lalita, Atula, Sakitve, Tulalitam. She's an incomparable friend. So now Lalita Sakhi becomes 8 times beloved. Vishaka and Shikshali, and Vishaka is the Shiksha Guru of all the maidservants of Radhika. So this is called Tadiya Sarvasva. Tadiya Sarvasva. It is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took 2 things from each of the 4 sampradayas. So this is one of the things that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took from the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, Tadiya Sarvasva. That what is the Sarvasva? What is tadiya? What is very dear to my beloved, that is my life and soul. Yugala vilase anukul jahani lila vilasa udipa kamani. ए सब छोड़त कहीं नहीं जाओ, ए सब छोड़त पर न हराओ. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the bank of the Radha Kund, the waves of the Jamuna, Bangsi Bhat, dear Samir, the trees and creepers of Vrindavan, these are all favorable in serving the Leela Vilas, the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So I cannot give them up. To give these things up would be to give up my life. This is called Tadiya Sarvasva. That which is dear to Radha Krishna and serving Radha Krishna, this is my sarvas, this is my everything. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has composed this beautiful song. Vibhāvarī-Śeṣa Aloka Pravesha Nidra-chadi Utto Jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Yagriva Nrisinghavamana Shri Madhusudana Brajendra Nandana Shyama Putana Gatana Kaitabashatana Jaya Dasarati Rama. Vibhāvarī-Śeṣa means the Shesh, it's the end of night. Aloka Pravesha, and some light of the early dawn is just entering into the atmosphere. This has a double meaning. One meaning is that after wandering for thousands of lifetimes in this material world, in complete darkness, now we came into the association of Sri Guru and Gauranga, and we're engaged in chanting the holy names. And therefore, by the power of the holy name, our soul is beginning to wake up. Some spiritual light is coming. In other words, the dark night of our sojourn through millions of lives in this material world is coming to an end, and the dawn of our entering into the spiritual world is now just arriving. So this is a metaphysical understanding of the song from the perspective of those who are following Vaidhi Bhakti. And for those who are in the Ragamarg, Vibhāvarī-Śeṣa Aloka Pravesha, it is the end of night. That is called Nishanta Lila. Nishanta Lila, the end of night pastimes. Radha and Krishna they have become tired from singing and dancing and playing the whole night, and they are resting on a beautiful bed of flowers in the embrace of each other and resting. And now the end of night is coming. Vibhāvarī-Śeṣa Aloka Pravesha. Light was just starting, the sky is starting to get light a little. Nidra-chadi Uta Jiva. Oh, Jiva, my life and soul, give up your sleep. At that time in the early morning, the Manjaris, they're awake almost the whole night, but just towards the end of the night, they lie down in the courtyard just outside the Kunj, and then suddenly, Maidseven wakes up and looks around because she's afraid. Oh, did I oversleep? Did I miss my service? And then she looks around, sees, oh, others are still resting, Radha Krishna are still sleeping. Relief. I thought for a moment I was very anxious, but now I see there's still time. So then that devotee is remembering his spiritual form and will get up and go and wake up Gurudev. Understand? That means wake up another Sakhi, other Manjaris who are there, and then go to see Uto. Nidra Chadi Uto, oh my life and soul, wake up. And they'll go and they'll look inside. Oh, in this beautiful Kunja Bhavan, this pavilion of flowers in the forest of Vrindavan on the bank of Jamuna. Sisi Radha Shyama Sundara resting there. Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hari. And the Sakis of Radha and Krishna, they begin to sing very beautifully. Radha and Krishna, they should wake up to the sound of the birds and the Sumadura Dwani Kori Jata Saki Gan, the singing of the Sakis also. So they're singing Hari Hari. Hari, what does Hari mean? So beautiful. For the general person, Hari means who steals. Harati, he steals. Krishna will steal away your sins, your ignorance, your endless suffering in the chain of birth and death. So he is Hari. But in Vrindavan Leela, those who in the early morning, they're singing Mangalarti and they're completely absorbed. They forget this world completely and they're completely absorbed in Krishna. Then Hari Hari. How much ras is there? Nama Sudha Rasa Gayo Krishna Yasha. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, sing these names of Krishna, they are full of rasa. His name is Hari because Radhika was in her home with Jyotila and Kotila and others. But when Sri Krishna in the middle of the night played his flute, then he stole Radhika from the in-laws' house. He's Hari because he takes Radhika from the watchful eye of Jyotila and Kotila and Abhimanyu. He's Hari because even though Radhika was afraid of her Gurujan, afraid of her seniors, but he stole away that fear. Because when the sound of Krishna's flute goes in the heart, then it lights the fire of Anurag, intense attachment to Sri Krishna. So he's Hari, he steals her from the village and brings her into the forest. So Hari Hari, here Hari is twice, not once. Because once Sri Krishna has ignited the fire of Anurag in the heart of Radhika and she forgets everything and runs to meet with Krishna. But then when she arrives there, then she becomes very contrary. Bhamyata, she becomes very contrary with Sri Krishna. Shingarayani bhavatim abhisarayani vikshaiva kantavaranam parivritta yantin dritancha harisanimit ani harisanidim anayami samprapya tajana sudam rashita bhavani. Srila Vishnu Thakur, he said, oh, when will I decorate Radhika beautifully and bring her to the forest to meet with Krishna? And the moment she sees Krishna's face, she turns around and starts to walk away. Then I think, oh, this is a disaster. I decorated her so beautifully and now it was all a waste. So Dhritan Chalena, I'll catch Radhika by the veil and pull. And Krishna will be in the astonishment watching this drama. Radhika is trying to leave and I will be there holding her veil and pulling her in the other direction. Samprapya tajna sudam rishidabhava, and Radhika will be pointing her finger and chastising me. I am not irreligious and loose woman like you. Let go of me, I'm leaving. And this nectar of Radhika's chastisement will go in my ears. So then Vishwanath Thakur said, and I'll bring Radhika right in front of Sri Krishna. And Krishna then he will speak some sweet words to try to persuade her to stay. So wonderful. And on the other side, Lalita will be chastising Radhika. Don't be submissive to him. Like, don't be submissive to Krishna. Inflaming Radhika is a contrary mood. So Hari Hari, the second Hari means Krishna has to steal Radhika's contrariness. She loves Krishna and she wants to serve him, she wants to please him, but she's also hiding that. That's called avahita bhav, the concealment of emotion. So Krishna will have to be Hari and steal her avahita bhav also. And in this way, Krishna will gradually, by his clever, cunning behavior and words, make Radhika favorable to him and make all the Sakis favorable also. And then their pastimes will go on. So Hari Hari, Mukunda Murari. Then Krishna becomes Mukunda. What does Mukunda mean? Mu-ku-da. Krishna, whose face, Mu, It is so beautiful. Kutsit. It makes the kunda flowers seem very insignificant by comparison. His face is so beautiful. Or his face makes da, ananda, the joy of mukti, liberation, worthless. For someone who sees the smiling face of Sri Krishna, then nirvana, mukti, moksha, liberation, no. Kaivalyam narakayate, this is worse than hell. Krishna is so beautiful. So his name is Mukunda. But especially Mukunda means that Krishna who gives liberation to Radhika from her shyness, her lajja, from her shyness. Nairanjanyam peyato parigalun modi bodashuni lochane swedu dupal vilepanam kilakuchadvandvam jaho ragitam yogat sukyam ugad rajpuraditi prakshuddayam sanginam radhe nivihiram tava satuguna shankema muksham dade. Radhika and Krishna entered into the kunj to play, and Brinda Devi was looking inside, and she said to the Sakhis, oh, just see, Nairanjanya mupeyato parigalam modi modashli lochane. Now Radhika is meeting with Sri Krishna. She has such when Radhika meets with Sri Krishna, she's also overwhelmed with love. She has sattvic bhavas. That means trembling, voice choke, hair standing on end, and especially tears of joy. Tears of joy. So now Radha and Krishna are sitting together. Radhika's eyes are just flowing with tears of joy. And these tears of joy are washing away the kajal from her eyes. So the black kajal is running down her face, and so many tears are there, there's no kajal left anymore. So kajal is called in Sanskrit Anjan. So Radhika becomes, Brinda Devi saying, look, Radhika, due to the tears of joy, she's becoming Nairanjan. Nairanjan. She has no Anjan anymore. So Niranjan, also in metaphysics, it means completely untouched by the three gunas. So a liberated person is called Niranjan. Completely untouched by the three gunas. So Brinda Devi is making a joke. Look, Radhika has become Niranjan. This Leela, there's no materiality in it. It is completely liberated. So the eyes of Radhika now, they become Niranjan. They become Mukta Mahapurush, great liberated souls. Because the tears of joy have washed away the Niranjan. But then the tears, they flow down and to the chest of Radhika. Now the body of Radhika is made with a very fragrant lotus pollen. There's kumkum decorating the body of Radhika. So these tears are flowing down, and Radhika is having the ecstatic symptom, sattvic bhava of swed. Swed means perspiration. So now the perspiration is coming and washing the cosmetic from her body also. So tears are flowing, perspiration is flowing, Anjan is washed away. So Jaho Ragitam, the chest of Radhika, has given up all rag. Just like a person when they take sannyas, when they become renounced, they give up all attachment. And rag means color. So the body of Radhika has given up all rag. Given up all color, that means taken sannyas. Given up all rag, all attachment. And now the tears and the color, kumkum, and the anjan is flowing down to the body of Radhika. And her skirt is tied with a string. This is called nivi. So then Brinda Devi is saying, and now I'm afraid that by the association, because if you associate with detached persons, what will happen? If you associate with someone who has no material desires, who has no worldly objectives, whose only goal is Krishna Prem, what will happen? It will start, that feeling will start to come to you also. And you just look at the whole world is just like empty, dry straw. Haribol, Haribol. Just seva, seva, seva all the time. So this is a parampara. Her eyes, her body, and now Brinda Devi said, now I'm afraid that the string on which ties the skirt of Radhika, Mamuksham Dade, has become is now also desiring mukti, to be liberation. So we should leave, and then Brenda Devi, she disappears. These are the amorous pastimes, not actually the beginning, just the introduction, the preface to the amorous pastimes of Sri Krishna. But it's described in terms of renunciation. Why? Because there's no materiality in this at all. Completely pure. Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Pad says, Atayeva e sukh, Krishna sukha poshe, e hetu gopi prema nahi kama doshe. There's no kam dosh, there's no fault of lust in Braj gopis. Atmendriya kritibancha taribali kam, Krishnendriya priti icha dari prema nam. The desire to please one's own senses, this is called lust. But the desire to please Krishna's senses is called Prem. So Srimati Radhika only desires to please the senses of Sri Krishna. Now one may say, but Krishna is very beautiful. And you cannot deny the fact that if Krishna will embrace you, if Krishna will sing to you, and if Krishna will play his flute, that your ears don't feel joy. That you don't experience the joy of Krishna through all senses. You cannot say that you don't feel joy. So this is true. When Krishna meets with Radhika, then she begins to glow. She begins to glow with joy. But this happiness, this glow of happiness on the face of Radhika is also offered to Krishna. Her happiness is also for his happiness. So first she comes, she wants to please him, but automatically she feels joy. Just like a person, if a person is serving out the makan at a feast, if there's a feast and the person is serving out butter to everyone, freshly chugged butter. So he's walking around with the pot and he's taking the butter and he's putting some butter on everyone's plate. So that person, his hand automatically becomes greasy. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to do anything extra to get a greasy hand. He's just serving everyone else and his hand automatically becomes greasy. So Radhika, she doesn't have to do anything for happiness. She's just serving Krishna. But the happiness comes. But when this happiness comes, she offers this to Krishna also. Her happiness is also for Krishna's happiness. Right? You see? So the show of happiness is, the experience of happiness is also for the other person's happiness. Just like if you meet someone, you meet an old friend, and you embrace them, oh, I'm so happy to see you, and they just stand there like. Then, you will not feel happiness. So the happiness of the other person also gives happiness to you, right? Yes. So in this way, Radhika only wants to please Krishna. She automatically gets joy without any effort, but this joy is also for Krishna. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he's saying that Atayeva Esu Krishna Sukha Pushti. The gopi's happiness nourishes Krishna's happiness. E hetu gopi prem nahi kama doshe. And for this reason, there's no fault of lust at all in the gopi's happiness of meeting with Sri Krishna. And that is why Shukadeva Goswami said, Kriditam brajabadhubi idang cha Vishnu Sradan anvitanu sunayad atabanayadya Bhaktim param bhagavati pratilabhyakama bridrogam ashapahino chachirena tiraha. That if a person with a firm faith will engage in constantly hearing and describing the beautiful pastimes of Sri Krishna and Braj Gopis in the Rasa Leela, then even though they still have some calm, here calm does not mean gross calm, here calm means avidya. They have some avidya. But Bhaktim param bhagavati pratilabhya kamam, simply by hearing and chanting these pastimes, then the param bhakti, the love of Braj Gopis, will enter into the heart and wash away all the very last traces of the ignorance and identification with the temporal material plane. So powerful. It is so powerful. So Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda. What are we discussing? Mukunda. Mukunda, Krishna's giving liberation, liberating Radhika from her shyness, liberating Radhika from her kajal, from her kumkum. And now, Brenda Devi has to quickly leave because also the knots are becoming loose. Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari. Krishna is Murari. Why Murari? One may think this whole song is a bit strange because there's Murari, Lord Narayan, killed the Mura demon. And also there's another demon named Mura who Krishna killed when he was in Dwarka, when he went to Prague Jyotishpur to fight with Narakasura there. there was a demon also named Murari who made the fortifications around the palace of the Narakasur. So, but there's a Murari, a demon previous to that pastime, who was killed by Lord Vishnu. So, and then you have Nishinga and Vamana, you have all these names. Then what kind of Shuddha ras, what kind of pure nectarian ras is here for the Vaishnavas in the line of Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? One pointed to Radha Krishna's Leela. This is an important question. So we should take these names that actually Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he is the Kamala Manjari. So as Kamala Manjari is singing these names to Radha Krishna for their happiness, she has some mood. She has some special mood. So Murari means that once this demon, Mura, he wanted to fight with everyone and control the universe. Even he went to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj said, you have not become supreme until you defeat Vishnu. So then Murari, he was going everywhere and looking to fight with Vishnu. So Murari was confident in his power because he performed austerities and got a benediction from Lord Brahma that whomever he touched with his hand, that person would break to pieces. So finally, Mura demon came to Lord Vishnu and said to him, oh, give me battle. We will see who is stronger, you or me. Let's see who's the strongest. I want to rule the universe. Lord Vishnu said, I will very happily give you dominion over the universe. But this problem is that you have come here. I think you're not sincere. You don't really want to fight me because your heart is trembling. Your heart is trembling. Then Muradeva said, I am fearless. I never fear anyone. He said, no, your heart is trembling. You should check yourself. So then the Muradeva put his hand on his heart and he exploded to pieces. So why do Braj Gopis call Krishna Murari? Murari? Because that person who speaks in such a sweet and cunning way, with a smile, that you become totally confused. Understand? Madhuraya gira valguvakyaya buddhamanogya pustarekshana vidikaririma viramuyati adarasituna pyayayashvana. In Gopi Gita, Braj Gopis say, Madhura gira, O Krishna, your words sound so sweet. Madhu, very sweet. Valgo Vaklaya. And the actual sentences that you say, they are enchanting. Buddha Manogyaya. Even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and great demigods, you speak in such a clever and cunning way that they become confused. But not only that, Pushkarakshana, you have lotus eyes. So when you're speaking, then you glance and you move your eyebrows in such a way that everyone becomes completely bewildered. And if such sweetness is emanating, the words emanating from your lips are so sweet, then we cannot imagine how sweet your actual lips are. Right? Because how many words can come from Krishna's lips? It's like unlimited. Unlimited words can. So the lips themselves must be a reservoir of unlimited sweetness. So now, Krishna, we are dying in separation. We'll die just now, and the only thing that could revive us is the nectar of your lips. So Murari means that Krishna who speaks in such a charming way. That Radhika, she forgets her man, she forgets her contrariness, she forgets her shyness. Everything. So sweet. Radhika can say to Krishna, hey, you are such a crooked person. You are like Vakrashra. Vakrashra is a form of Lord Shiva. Vakrashra means the Lord of crookedness. You are like Vakrashra. You are the master of crookedness. You are crooked in 3 places. You know, people say crooked in 3 places. That means the neck, the waist, and the feet. Radhika said, no, you are crooked in 3 places. The past, the present, and the future. Krishna said, oh. Then if I am Vakrashra, crooked in 3 places, you are Astavakra Rishi. There's one sage named Astavakra, he's crooked in 8 places. You are like Astavakra Rishi, why? Vachi kache bruvi drishto smite prayane vaguntane ridicha. You are crooked, first of all. Vachi, your words are crooked. Why? Because Radhika is quarreling with him, but actually in her heart she loves him. But this is the nature of Braj Prem. It's never expressed directly. In this world, everyone tells, I love you, because they are full of lust, and they hide their lust with the pretend prem. But in Braja they have real love, and they hide it with lust. Krishna, he has real love, but he acts like a lusty boy. He's hiding it, because everything is crooked. And Radhika has pure love, but instead of saying, I love you, she teases him. And this is why Krishna, his ears are just in complete bliss when Radhika chastises and rebukes him. Because the actual translation, the subtitles is, I love you. When you translate it from the language of Braj into everyone else's language, this criticism means I love you. When Radhika says, oh, you are Vakreshwar, crooked in 3 places, this means I love you. And then Krishna says, you are crooked in 8 places. First, your words are crooked. Vachi, kache, your hair is crooked. That means curly. Beautiful curling hair. Bruvi means your eyebrows. Because when Radharani is angry, she raises her eyebrows and they become like the bows of Cupid. Drishti, your glances. Because Radhika does not look straight at Krishna. She's always looking somewhere else and ignoring him and then catching him. The Sakis say, oh quick, Krishna's coming. Let's all turn away and ignore him and pretend we're picking flowers. And then just see what he's doing. Your glance is crooked. Smite, your smile is crooked. A smile has to be crooked. Your smile is crooked. And your Smite Prayani, the way that you walk is crooked. Because Radhika is Gajagamini. She has very narrow waist and very broad hips. So Gajagamini means a woman who walks like an elephant. If you see an elephant, when they're walking, the whole body swings from side to side. They take a step and then the body swings this way. So a beautiful maiden is called Gajagamini. So the way you walk is crooked. And your veil is crooked. You can see in the painting of Sevakunj. You see, Radhika is covering her face with the veil, but also pulling with her finger to try to look at Krishna. So it's like she's looking away, but then moving her veil a little so she can peep at Krishna. So your veil is crooked. And Ridicha, and your heart is crooked. So you are Astabhakra Rishi, you are crooked in 8 places. So this is very profound, because Krishna is saying, oh Radhika, you are better than me, because I'm only crooked in 3 places, you are crooked in 8 places. And because your brow is curved and your hair is curly and you walk in a crooked way, so that means, oh, you are very beautiful. It seems like an insult, but these are compliments. But there's another hidden meaning in this. Astabhakra Rishi is a great Siddha yogi. He's a perfect yogi. But how did he become Siddha? He became perfect by worshipping Lord Shiva. But which form of Lord Shiva? Vakreshwara Mahadev. So by saying, if you say I'm like Vakreshwara, then I say you're Astabhakra, the inner meaning is, oh Radhika, you can make your life Siddha perfect by worshipping. This is called Murari. How he speaks, his words are so sweet. Oh, Gopi's hands are speaking. Everyone is enchanted by him. Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva. Ram here means Radharaman. Rama is who's always playing in the heart of Radhika. His name is Ram. And Krishna, what does Krishna mean? Krishna means Karshati, attractive. He draws all the senses of the Braja Gopis towards him by his attractiveness. When Radhika is entering in the forest, from far away she sees Krishna, but she cannot understand, is it Krishna or not? She's not sure, she has to check with her Sakhis. Because if she'll see a tamal tree which has a golden utica flowers growing at the base of the tree, and a peacock is sitting on the branch, she'll look and think, oh, Krishna's here. But it was a mistake. It was only the dark tamal tree and the golden utica flowers like his dhoti, and the peacock in the branch was like the peacock feather in his hair. So she has to check with it, is that my Krishna? Or is it a tamil tree? Is it a fresh rain cloud? Is it an ocean of sweetness? Or is that my beloved Krishna, whose face is like the moon for the chakora birds of my eyes? There's a bird called chakora. It cannot live. It's just looking at the moon, waiting for a chandrika, a moonbeam to come and come. It survives by drinking the chandrikas, the moonbeams. So Radhika says, Krishna's face is like the moon for the intensely attached chakora birds of my eyes. See, Krishna's fragrance is like a lotus for the bumblebee of my nose. The sound of Sri Krishna's ornaments jingling, his ankle bells, the waist bells, his bangles, the sound of his ornaments jingling as he walks is like the music that enchants the deer of my ears. In India, when a hunter is hunting the deer, then they play some music, and the deer likes music and then becomes stunned, and then they get caught. So Radhika, my ears are like that, captivated by the jingling of Sri Krishna's ornaments. Oh, Sri Krishna's lips are like the Amra Manjari, that means the fresh buds on the mango tree for the cuckoo of my mouth. See, these are all things in nature where the attraction is spontaneous. So Radhika is saying, all of my senses are attracted to the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, all of the sense objects present in Sri Krishna. And Sri Krishna's whole body is like a river of flowing nectar for the forest fire of my body. That's Sparsha, touch. So the forest fire can only be extinguished by the flood of nectar. So his name is Krishna. Rama Krishna, Hayagriva. Actually, we should. Anyone can think of the name of Krishna and the meanings will come for days and days and days. Because Krishna means attractive, because it comes from Krishdhatu. But the Krishdhatu attractive can means also attracted. Krishna, who is attracted to Radhika. Rama Krishna Hayagriva. Hayagriva is also one incarnation of Vishnu. Is a horse-headed incarnation who spoke the Vedas to Lord Brahma. So why do the Sakhis of Radhika call Krishna Hayagriva? Gagacharya said, Tasman Nandatmajo Yamte Narayana Samo Gunai. O Nanda Maharaj, your son will have all qualities like Lord Narayan. So all the qualities of Lord Narayan, they are present in Krishna, but to the fullest degree. And even Krishna has qualities that Lord Narayan doesn't have. He has a sweetness, Venu Madhuri, sweetness of his flute, Rupa Madhuri, of his form, Leela Madhuri, of his pastimes, and the sweetness of the love of the associates that surround him is not present at all in any Narayan incarnation. So Hayagriva means who speaks Dharma, who speaks the Vedas. They're remembering, oh Krishna, when we left our homes and we ran to meet you in the forest at night, what did Krishna say?
You shouldn't be there, you should go back.
Oh, you should go back and serve your husbands. You should follow Dharma, because those ladies who don't follow Dharma in this life, they will go to hell and they will suffer. But those who follow Dharma will go to heaven. So gopis, they call Krishna Hayagriva. Oh, you are speaking the Vedas to us. Well, you are very learned. You have all the qualities of Narayan. Gagacharya was correct. But why was Krishna telling them to go home?
Because he was testing to see.
He was teasing. This is Braj. Braj, everyone is lying all the time. Satyabratam Satyaparam Trisatyam. It is said Krishna is the embodiment of the truth. But in Braj, Krishna is always lying. The gopis, Brajbasis, they're always teasing each other. So he's just teasing them. Ramakrishna Hayagriva, Narasimha Bhamana Sri Madhusudana, Narasimha. Then Radha Krishna, they wake up and they come out from the Kunj. And they go and they sit down on a beautiful jeweled platform on the bank of the Jamuna. At that time, those maidservants who are serving, they quickly run inside the kunj so they can collect the prasadi. Because Radhika's necklaces are broken, there's some chewed betel, there's some drops of honey wine left in the bottom of the goblet when they were drinking honey wine. So there's so much prasadi, so many valuable substances there. So they run inside to collect them all. They'll pick up the jewels of Radhika's necklace so they can string it again and offer it to Radhika. So at that time, when they go inside and they're picking up the pearls and jewels, they can hear the parrots in the kunj. The parrots are speaking. But you know, parrots always repeat what they heard. So while they're collecting the jewels from the floor of the kunj, they can hear one parrot is saying, "Oh, that hurts. I am not Hiranyakashipu, the king of the demons." And they're hearing what the parrots are saying. And by hearing this, they can reverse engineer so many pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Nrsimha Bhaman, Bhaman. Do you know Vaman Dev? Vaman Dev was a dwarf. Vaman Dev is the dwarf incarnation of the Lord. He came in a very small form, and he said to Bali Maharaj said, "I'll give you whatever you want." He said, "I only want 3 steps of land. I only want 3 steps of land, by the measurement of my own steps." Bali Maharaj said, "But you are so small. I am an emperor of the world. I can give you so many things." He said, No, I only want 3 steps. But then what did he do? As soon as Bali Maharaj had promised to give in charity 3 steps of land, then he expanded himself. He became huge. And with 1 step, he took all the lower planetary systems. And with his 2nd step, he took all the higher planetary systems. With 2 steps, he'd taken the whole universe. And then he said to Bali Maharaj, "Now, where can I keep my 3rd step?" And Bali Maharaj said, "Oh my Lord, you can keep your 3rd step on my head." So why do Braj Gopis call Krishna Bhaman? Because this is a child cheating. This is cheating. I am just a very small person. Then becomes so huge. So Bhaman Dev, the Bhaman incarnation, is the first incarnation which introduces this extreme deception. And so because Krishna is such a cheater, say yes, you have all the qualities of Lord Narayan, especially you are a cheater. Also there's some irony in this as well. Why? Haripadanaka koti prastapariyanta simha tatamami kalayantim pranakotirabishtam. See, Krishna, he takes the lotus feet of Radhika and holds them in his heart. And Radhika loves Krishna 10 million times more than her own pran. So when Krishna holds the lotus feet of Radhika, he's trembling and thinks, "Oh, I've attained the greatest treasure." And he wants to put the lotus feet of Radhika on his head. So there's an irony here. That, oh, you are Vaman Dev. You are Vaman Dev. You completely cheated the Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj begged, "Oh, please keep your feet on my head." But now look at you. Oh, Radhika, please keep your feet on my head. This person who was stealing everything, and his devotee was begging, now he himself is begging to have the feet upon his head. So also, as Krishna teases Braj Gopis also tease Krishna. It goes both ways. Nrsimha Vamana Sri Madhusudana. Madhusudan means bumblebee. And Madhusudan means Madhu, the honey of Radhika's Prem. Sudan is drunk by Sri Krishna. So a bumblebee has a power that if he's inside bamboo, bamboo is hollow, and if he's inside, he's so strong he can bite through the knots of bamboo and get out. But when the bumblebee lands in a flower, in a lotus flower, and drinks the honey of the lotus flower, then when the sun sets, then the petals of the lotus flower close, and the bee can't get out. He can bite through the hard knots of bamboo, but he cannot bite through the soft petals of the lotus. Why? Because he's Madhusudan, he's completely intoxicated. From the nectar, there's no nectar in the bamboo. There's so much nectar in the lotus flower, and because he's so intoxicated, then he cannot get out. So Krishna is Madhusudan. Relishing the love of Radhika, he cannot leave her embrace. Simadu Nisingabhamana Simadu Sudana Brajananandana Shama. But he's the son of Nanda Maharaj. When Radha Krishna meet in the Kunj, they become so absorbed in their lila, they forget about the whole world. But when the sun is about to rise, then they remember, oh, there's a whole village. And there's Krishna's reputation. Everyone will wake up now. If anyone will see him sneaking home after being in the forest for the whole night, there'll be a scandal. And the gopis don't want Krishna to be involved in a scandal. So Brajandan, he's the son of the king of Braj. He's an illustrious person. He's a dignified person. He has status in society. So there should not be a scandal. Now, this Mangalatik time is a bittersweet time where there's meeting, but that meeting is intensified by the threat of inevitable and impending separation to come. Bhavi Viraha. That now the separation is inevitable. So, Prajandanandana Sham. So then, Radha Krishna, they begin to set off to go back to their home. And they walk together with each other for some way. But then, at some point, they have to separate. So the village where they have to go in opposite direction, that village is called Doman. Doman village. In Braj. It's near Nandagaon. So Doman village, Doman means two hearts. Radha Krishna were one heart. But now, Radhika's heart has gone with Krishna and Krishna's heart has gone with Radhika. So they have to separate and return to their village. Brajandanandana Putana Ghatana Kaita Bashatana Jaya Dasharati Ram. Putana Ghatana. When Krishna was only 6 days old, then Putana came to kill him by giving poison to him. But only by the touch of the lips of Krishna, Putana was finished. So here, the gopis call Krishna Putana because it means if Krishna, when he was only 6 days old, his lips were so powerful, he could kill such a powerful demon like Putana who had the strength of 60,000 elephants. Now he's grown and he's Kishore. He's like 16 years old, he's so much stronger. Then what kind of goon, what quality is there in the lips of Sri Krishna? The touch of Krishna's lips are more powerful. Putana Ghatana Kaitaba Shatana. Kaitaba Shatana means the form of the Supreme Lord who killed the demon Kaitaba. So Kaitaba means duplicity. Duplicity. So the gopis, they were in their homes and acting like we are very dharmic housewives. But this is actually, they're already given their heart to Sri Krishna. So this duplicity of this pretense is taken away from Krishna. So he's called the Kaitaba Shatana. Jaya Dasharati Ram. Oh, he's like Dasharati Ram. What is the speciality of Dasarati Ram? Lord Ramachandra is Ekapatni Vrat. That means he has a vow to only have a relationship with one woman. So Krishna is also like that, right? Jaya Dasharati Ram. You have all qualities like Lord Narayan. But what about Jaya Dasharati Ram? Why are you going to the Kunj of Chandravali? Actually, Krishna is more dedicated, more single-minded than Lord Ram. Do you know why? First of all, Ram has taken a vow that he will only be related to Sita, not to anyone else. But Krishna has taken a vow, Ye yatamam prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyaham. That means I'll reciprocate with everyone. So even though Krishna promised he would reciprocate with everyone, and he was dancing with all gopis, but he left them all to be alone with Radhika. Radhika's, actually all those gopis in the Raslila that Krishna left to be with Radhika, they have Mahabhav. Their love is superior to Sita Devi. Sita Devi has up to Anurag, but gopis have Mahabhav. So Lord Ram, he cannot give up Sita for anyone else. But Krishna even leaves all the Braj gopis who have Mahabhav just for Radhika. And also from the point of view of Tattva, actually all these gopis, they are Radhika. Mahabhava Srupa Radha Thakurani, Mahabhav Sarupa, Mahabhav Chintamani, Radha Swarup, Lalit Adi, Saki, Tarakaya Vyuharup. There is Radhika, and Radhika has expanded and become all the gopis. So Krishna, he does not love anyone else. They're all the parts of Radhika's mood. Whatever Krishna is attracted to in any gopi is because that quality is in Radhika and it is manifest from her. So Krishna only loves Radhika. Even when he meets with another gopi, at that time he's thinking of Radhika and her separation. And he's meeting because he reciprocates. But in his heart he's not really feeling joy because he's remembering that Radhika is in separation. So Jaya Dasharati Ram, Yashoda Dhulala Govinda Gopala. Now Krishna comes home and Mother Yashoda comes and wakes him up. Oh, I don't believe it. How is that possible? It's nearly 2 o'clock. Okay, I have to end soon. So, how will we finish this song? Yashoda Nandana, Yashoda Dhulala Govinda Gopal. Now Krishna is at home and he lies in his bed and he is very tired. His eyes are rolling. He cannot wake up. And his mother comes and wakes him up. Yashoda Dhulala. Hey, Govinda Gopala. That means all your friends have come. And all the cows are waiting for you, Krishna. So Krishna has to wake up, take his bath, take breakfast. And Govinda Gopal, Krishna, the cowherd boy, has to go out with his friends into the forest. They go to Govardhan. But Gopi Priyajana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bhara. After the boys have been playing for some time and they're resting, then Krishna, along with Madhu Mangal and Subal, said, oh, let everyone rest here, let's go. And Krishna sneaks away, and Gopi Priyajana Radhika Ramana, he meets with Radhika at Radhakund. And then the Radhakund pastimes take place. That is, we've come from the Nishanta Lila to the Prata Lila, to the Purvan Lila, and to the Madhyan Lila now. Bhuvana Sundara Bhar means Krishna is the most beautiful person. But it's especially mentioned here because Krishna is beautiful when he's with his friends. He's more beautiful when he's with his mother because of Vatsalya Ras. He's more beautiful when he's with the gopis. But he's most beautiful when he's with Radhika's group of gopis. And he's most beautiful when he's with Radhika's group of gopis in Radhakund. That is the highest place. So Bhuvana Sundara Bhar. Krishna is the most beautiful there in the Madhyan Leela with Radhika. But then, after that Leela passes, then Sri Krishna has to return to play with his friends, and Radhika and her Sakhis return to Yavat. And there Radhika is again in separation. So much separation. Ravanantakara Makanataskara Gopi Janavastahari. She's thinking, I am kept here by my mother-in-law. Why doesn't Krishna come and save me? He should come and save me from my mother-in-law's house. Just like Ravanantakara. When Sita Devi was stolen by Ravan, then Lord Ram, he came there. And he fought and he rescued her from that position. So why doesn't Krishna come here to Yavat somehow and save me from this position? She feels like this in separation. Sometimes he does. Krishna sometimes comes in disguise and enters into the mother-in-law's house also. Ravanantakara Makanataskara. If Radhika will hear, in separation, Krishna says, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to sneak into your mother-in-law's house. Then Radharani says, Makanataskara. Why not? Since you're a little boy, you're expert at sneaking into the neighbor's house. Right? What does Makanataskara? Makanataskara means that when Krishna was little, he was going around the whole neighborhood with his friend and sneaking into the houses of the neighbors and stealing butter there. So Radharani said, you are expert at sneaking into houses, you just come and sneak into my house. I know you are stealing butter from childhood. Then Radhika in separation, she heard Krishna was saying, no, that was when I was little, I was naughty, but now I'm grown up, I'm very strict. When children steal, it's okay, but when you get older, then you cannot do that, you cannot get away with that. Ravanataskara Makanataskara Gopi Jana Vastaha. Krishna, what are you talking about? We were taking bath in the Jamuna and you came and stole all of our clothes. Vastahari, you came and stole our clothes. So I think that you have not become more dharmic as you grow up. Usually people, they become more well-behaved as they grow up. But Krishna, you become worse and worse as you grow up. And in this way, Braj Gopis are in their homes and they're crying and feeling separation from Krishna in the afternoon. Brajera Rakala Gopa Brindapala Chitahari Bangsidar. Brajera Rakala. Krishna is a cowherd boy of Braj Gopa Brindapala, taking care of the cows with his friends at this time. But he knows that Braj Gopis feel separation, so even when he's out in the pastures, he plays his flute. That by hearing his flute, they'll experience the spurti of Sri Krishna's presence in his flute. Yogindra Bandana Sri Nandanandana Brajaba Janabayaha. Yogindra Bandana. What does that mean? It means the masters of mystic power like Brahma and Shiva and other devatas, they are offering prayers to Sri Krishna. Because now we come into the afternoon pastimes when Krishna's returning from the pasturing grounds. Then actually he's late and Mother Yashoda is very worried about him. But Yashoda says, where is my boy? What happened? Maybe some demon came. So at that time some Sakhis of Radharani, they say, don't worry, we'll find out. And the Sakhi of Radhika, not one of the short ones, but one of the tallest ones. She goes running and she climbs up the watchtower. There's a watchtower on the outer wall of Nandagaon and she climbs to the top. So I know she's also taller than the other gopis. That's why they picked the tallest one. And she looks out into the meadows to see if she can see what Krishna is doing. And she notices him very far away. And then again she comes running down the steps. And she comes down the steps and then she comes back to Mother Yashoda. And she says to Mother Yashoda, Vividha Gopachara Neshu Vidagdo Vehinu Vadya Urdani Jashikshaha Tahava Suta Sakiya Dadara Bimbe Data Venu Anayat Swarajati Shavana Shastarupa Dara Suresha Shakra Savar Paramesti Puroga Kavaya Anata Kandara Chita Kashmalam Yayo Anishchita Tattva. Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 35. That gopi says, Oh Sati, oh chaste Mother Yashoda, your son is expert in all the arts of the cowherd boys. Vividha Gopa Charneshu Vidagdo. He's expert in all the arts of the cowboys, especially at playing on the flute. Urudani Jashiksha. And when he takes the flute to his lips and he begins to play, at that time, Urudani Jashiksha, he plays so many ragas. These are not only the ragas which are in the Sangeet Shastra, but he himself has invented his own ragas. He taught himself. Self-taught ragas that no one has ever heard before. So at that time, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and Indra and other demigods who are expert in music, they gather in the sky and they're listening and they're trying to hear. Just like Nishinga when I sing one kirtan, he's like this and he's trying to figure it out. What note was that? So Brahma and Shiva, they're listening and they're trying to follow the notes. But then there's so many notes in this raga that it shouldn't be in the raga that they think it was. And they think, oh, maybe it's this raga, maybe it's this one. And then finally they cannot figure it out. And Brahma and Shiva and Indra, they all, Kandarachita, they all bow their heads. We thought we were expert in the Sangeet Shastra, but we don't know anything. How can this boy play so many ragas? Do you know the answer to that question? Radhika the Prema Guru Amisisanath. Krishna said the Prem of Radhika is actually my Guru. So because Radhika loves Krishna in ways that no one has ever been loved before, that music comes out of his heart in the form of rags, which are beyond the capacity of Brahma, Indra and Shiva. So then the demigods all come down and their feet don't touch the ground, but they're floating a little bit above the earth. and they offer arti to Krishna as he's returning to the village. So then Krishna doesn't want to be rude, so he stands there while the demigods, give arti. No, that's anachronism. But you get the idea. He's just like, okay, he just wants it to be over, so he can return to the village. So that Sakyu, with the tall Sakyu, came from the top of the watchtower. She's running back to Mother Yashoda to say, don't worry, he's just been a little bit delayed because the Devatas are offering arti to him, and he doesn't. Don't be worried. And she makes Mother Yashoda calm down. Like this. So, Yogindra Bandhana, Sri Nandanan, and then he comes back and meets with Nanda Maharaj. Braja Jana Bayahari. All the Brajbasis were worried. What will happen to him in the forest? Sometimes dangerous demons come, but now he's returned to the village. Oh, their fears gone away. Braja Jana Bayahari. Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara. Navina Nirada means he's like a fresh rain cloud, because in the summertime it's very hot in India, and when the summer season is over and the fresh rain clouds gather in the sky, everyone feels relief. So when Krishna returns to the village, then everyone who was burning in separation is like, he's back. So Navina Nirada, Rupa Manohara, they see his charming form. Chita Hari, Navina Nirda Rupa Manohara, Mohana Bangsi Bihari. Then he comes back, he takes his meal, and then he takes rest. But he sneaks out in the middle of the night and he goes to Bangsi Bhat, Mohana Bangsi Bihari, and he begins to play the flute. Yashoda Nandana, Kangsani Sudana, Nikunja Rasa Vilasi. Now at night, you see, all the Leelas, the Kali Leela is here in this song. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, relish thee on my mind, Rako Vachanaman on my mind. Don't forget these names. Remember these names all the time. Relish is full of rasa. So Yashoda Nandan means Mother Yashoda is very kind. So when gopis call Krishna Yashoda Nandan, it means that if your mother is very kind and loves you a lot, you grow up to be very kind. So Krishna is very kind to the Braj gopis. Kansa Nisudana. He kills Kanks. Here Kanks means calm. They feel the calm, very strong desire, and Krishna is very kind. And Krishna is serving the Braj gopis. Nikunja Rasa Vilai, and he is performing Nikunja Ras, dancing on the bank of Jamuna and playing with gopis in the Kunj. Kadamba Kanana Rasa Parayana Brindavipina Nivasi. I'm sorry, I'm rushing a little bit now because we're running out of time and I missed my flight. I have to go soon. So I just tried to speak a little bit about Eastern, a little bit. Kadamba Kanana Rasa Parayana. Krishna is dancing. Do you know what a Kadamba tree is like? So beautiful. The trunk is very, very thick. We just went to Kadamba Kandi this year. Who was there? Kadamba Kandi? Anyone on Parikrama this year? Kadamba Kandi in Kamyavan. It's a very big, thick tree and a very light complexion and with deep green foliage. Huge. And the flowers, they're not flowers like this. They're round, like balls on a Christmas tree. They're completely round golden flowers, so it looks very festive. So there's a forest of Kadamba trees, and there are 4 Kadamba trees with so many creepers growing from one tree to another that it makes a room inside. So it's a Kadamba Kunj. And when Radha and Krishna, they go inside the Kadamba Kunj, then the Kadamba pollen of these yellow flowers, there's a white pollen inside. And when Radha and Krishna are meeting, it's so beautiful that it's like a snow of white Kadamba pollen coming down in the Kunj. And there's so much Kadamba pollen that it sticks to the eyelashes of Radhika and Sri Krishna. And they're trying to look. And there's so much white, soft Kadamba pollen falling in the Kunj that they look and they cannot even see each other and they start to cry in separation. Ankastite Pidaitaikim Apripalapam Ha Mohaneti Madaram Bheda-abheda-tattva Kasmad. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur says, Radhika is sitting in the lap of Krishna and crying, Ha Mohan, where are you? Prem Vaichitta comes. And they become lost They feel separation even when they're meeting. And they cannot see each other. Then someone may say, but why did you go in this Kadamba Kunj? If there's so much like Kadamba pollen falling like snow everywhere and you can't see, then why did you go? Well, the answer is that actually the Kadamba pollen wasn't falling when they went into the Kunj. But when they began to play together, then the Mahabhav of Radhika and Krishna also, it spreads out from their bodies. Aspandanam gatimatam pulakastarunam, and gives sattvic bhavs to the trees. So the Kadamba trees are trembling in ecstasy because of the presence of Radha Krishna, and it's shaking out the pollen. And it's coming and going like snow in their eyes, and then they cry in separation. Kadamba Kanana Rasapadayana Vrindavipina Nivasi Ananda Vardana Premaniketana Fulasayojaka Kama. Ananda Vardan. Krishna is Ananda Vardan. His joy is increasing. Radhika's joy is increasing. Fulasayojaka Kam. And he glances at Radhika with eyes which are full of calm, full of love. The meaning here is that after Krishna is playing with Radhika, and Radhika becomes very tired, and she can hardly move, she cannot even lift one finger. But Krishna's eyes are still full of love. So then at that time Radhika thinks, let's make a trap. So you can play with Lalita and Vishaka and Chitra and Champakalata and all other gopis. So then Radha Krishna come up with a plan how they can catch those gopis that Krishna can play with them. So Gopanga Nagana Chitta Vinodana. Now it's after playing with Radhika, Gopanga Nagana Chitta Vinod. Now Krishna becomes the one who gives joy to all of the Braj gopis. So in the Ras Leela, it goes like this. Krishna's playing with Radhika, and then Krishna plays with all her Sakhis on Radhika's arrangement. Yadyapi Sangira Krishna Sangam Nahiman Tatapi Radhika Yatna Karne Sangam. Even though the Sakhis of Radhika, they have no desire to meet with Krishna, but Radhika herself, out of love, out of affection, out of sneha for her friends, she always tries to make Krishna play with them. So Nana Cheli Krishna Preri Sangama Karai Atma Krishna Sangha Hoite Koti Sukhapai. Ramananda Rai, he said, and when Radhika, she makes an arrangement for Lalita or Vishaka or other Sakhis to meet with Krishna by tricks and traps. Chal means by tricks. Then at that time, Radharani, she feels 10 million times more happiness when Krishna plays with the Sakhis than when he's playing with her. So Anyan Ye Vishuddha Prem Kari Rasa Pushta Tasapara Prema Deki Krishna Hoi Tushta. Ramananda Rai said, so when Krishna sees, oh, the Sakhis want that Radhika should meet with me, and Radhika wants that the Sakhis would meet with me. They all have so much love for each other. So Anyan Ye Vishuddha Prem, seeing the love between each other, Kori Rasa Pushta, it nourishes the ras. Tasapara Prema Deki Krishna Hoi Tushta, and Krishna feels extremely satisfied. So the point of Radhika making Krishna meet with the Sakhis and the Sakhis making Krishna meet with Radhika is what? Krishna Tushta, only to please Sri Krishna. So Gopanga Nagana Chitta Vinodana Samasta Guna Ganadam Yamuna Jivana Keli Parayana. What is the last pastime in the Rasalila at night? Jamuna Jivana Keli Parayana. Tabi Yutashrama Mapo with Anga Sanga Gristastra Jaswa Kucha Kunkuma Ranjitaya Gandava Pali be Anudata Avisadva Santoga Jibe Ibaradi Babinna Setu. Shukadeva Goswami at the end of the Rasalila, he said, then when the dancing and playing was finished, then Krishna thought, oh, all the Braj gopis, they are quite fatigued now. They should be refreshed by entering into the cooling, fragrant waters of Jamuna. So then Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Krishna is wearing beautiful garlands, and the garlands are crushed by the embraces of Braj gopis, and the kumkum from their bodies are smeared on his garland. And just as the king of elephants enters into the Jamuna surrounded by so many female elephants, and as the elephant comes on the bank of the river, which is sandy, the river bank is breaking all the sand is collapsing as he's entering into the river. So in the same way, see, Krishna is breaking all the boundaries of Dharma. All the boundaries of the propriety are collapsing. And Krishna is entering into the Jamuna like the king of elephants, surrounded by Braj gopis. And the swarm of bumblebees is following behind him, attracted by the fragrance of the kumkum on his garland. And those bumblebees are singing like as if Gandharvas, glorifying the Supreme Lord. So Jamuna Jivana Keli Parayana, they go to play in the water and they splash each other there and they become refreshed. And then they'll have to return home. Then they'll rest in the kunj. And now you're back at the beginning of the song again. And then there we go. Nidra chadi utajiva. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's saying, Nama Sudha Rasa, Gayo Krishna Rasa, Rako Vachana Manamo, oh my mind, never forget this at every moment. Sing these names of Sri Krishna, which are Sudha Rasa. They are filled with Rasamrita, the nectar of the loving pastimes of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. Oh my dear mind, don't forget this even for 1 second. Sri Harinam Prabhu ki jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Hare Krishna.